Exactly the moment I really, to be honest, he was pitching that night. There's an Angel game here. And I was like, I need to find out, excuse me, I need to make sure that Shohei Ohtani is not putting these bets in without asking, because I really didn't.
It's so easy to do. The people that, because I've read when the story first broke, people commenting, how could he not see 14 million missing or whatever the number?
Right.
It's so easy. They're busy, man. They're
not only that.
大谷選手の元通訳、水原一平が賭けを行っていた違法賭博サイトの運営者、マシュー・ボイヤーが1年と1日の刑で収監され大きな話題です。ボイヤーは司法取引で捜査に協力し、最長18年の禁錮刑から大幅な減刑となりました。ボイヤーは複数のメディアに答えており、大谷の関与に関しての情報も改めて語られました。訳しました。
Breaking news here at 11. The Orange County bookie connected to an illegal gambling operation linked to Dodger star Shohei Ohtani is heading to prison. About an hour ago, a judge sentenced Matthew Boyer to 1 year and 1 day in prison. The bookie at the center of the major gambling scandal involving the former interpreter of Shohei Ohtani is heading to prison, as you just heard me say. But prior to this, Hetty, you spoke with him earlier this week. What did he tell you ahead of today's sentencing?
But first, I want to go with the sentencing that just came down about an hour ago. Federal Judge John W. Holcomb also ordering Matthew Boyer to pay restitution of $1.6 million. Restitution which Boyer and his attorney say that he's already paid. And he must also enter a Gamblers Anonymous program after he finishes that 1 year sentence. He'll likely serve it in Long Park Federal Prison. I want to go to some video earlier of Boyer arriving in the federal courthouse. He arrived about 30 minutes prior to his scheduled sentencing to dozens of local and international media with an entourage of, I would say, a few dozen of his family members and his friends, all here, they say, to support Matthew Boyer. Prosecutors say Boyer ran a worldwide illegal gambling operation to which Ippei Mizuhara placed 19,000 bets with Boyer. Mizuhara admitting to stealing $16 million from Shohei Ohtani to pay off his gambling debts. Boyer and his attorney speaking with media, again, local and a lot of Japanese reporters here just a few minutes ago.
If you do something wrong, you can't enjoy all the perks and all the good things and all the illegal activities you're doing and then not expect something to happen.
Again, on Tuesday, I had a chance to sit down with Matthew Boyer in his San Juan Capistrano home. We talked about his regrets. He told me about his illegal gambling business, which he told me he's been operating for the past 25 to 30 years. And I asked him about when he met Ippei Mizuhara in 2021.
That's really what I was. I was a CEO of a big corporation. It was just illegal.
This is a photo of the poker game where he says he met Ippei Mizuhara in San Diego in 2021.
Do you regret meeting Ippei?
Yeah, I mean, I do because he's in prison. And I even though we weren't close friends, I hate to see someone in prison, you know, for 57 months and ruining his life.
At any point, did you think, okay, to question whether this was Ippei's money or not?
If you have a gentleman that's paying you $500,000 every 2 weeks and seems to be very happy with the service, and you're making a lot of money and everybody seems to be happy, I don't need to know where he's getting his money. I mean, that's not my business.
These big players, and you had actually now what everyone wants to know, Ohtani's his assistant, is that correct?
Yeah.
How did you get him? What's his story?
So my good friend, in fact, he called just a minute ago.
Okay.
He has a really good relationship with David Fletcher,
Okay.
you know, who obviously played for the Angels. And we're all buddies, and we go golfing and gamble on the golf course and hang out. And in that relationship, he developed, you know, more ball player relationships. So anyway, we went to a Padres Angels game back in 2021, and we would go to spring training with these guys. I'd go to the Arizona casinos with them, hang out, play blackjack, whatever. And then we'd play golf, of course. That day, we went to the game, and then that night after the game, we went to their private I'm going to call it private poker game, but it really is just the players come back to the hotel and they just won, lost, whatever. They go, eat some pizza and play cards. It's something I think all NBA, I mean, they play on the planes. It's just, let's be honest, they all gamble.
Sure.
So I shouldn't say they all, most.
Yeah.
Long story short, Ippei was there, the interpreter, and he was on his phone putting in bets, literally on soccer games.
Sure.
So my buddy's like, hey, Matt can help you with that.
Right.
That introduction led to, of course, him starting with a small account, $1,000, $8,000 credit line, which turned into $300,000, which turned into $500,000, and then ended up being $40 million.
So he had a $300,000 credit line, or
initially $8,000.
Okay.
He was betting $1,000 a game.
Sure.
His first bet, which it's all public, they put out every text message, everything. $1,000 on a Turkish soccer game.
Right.
And literally, and then it turned into he blew the $8,000. Asked for more credit. I gave it to him.
Sure.
Let's be honest. I didn't think the interpreter for Shohei Ohtani was going to stiff me.
Sure.
And I extended his credit line and got to 300. Then he paid it.
He paid the $300,000.
Wired me $300K.
Yeah.
Then he asked for 500. Well, shit, he just paid me 300.
Sure.
And he's clearly a bad gambler. So greedy wise, I was like, yeah, I'll give him 500. So I give him 500. He blows that. He pays. Then he asks for another 500. Another 500. And as he's losing, he's like, look, I'm going to always pay you. Just give me more credit because I can't get access to the money instantly all the time to send $1 million wires.
Right.
I didn't care. I didn't ask who it was from. To be honest, I didn't even know it was Shohei Ohtani until like the third wire.
Right.
But once I saw that name, I was like, holy shit.
The wire came from Ohtani?
Yes.
You seen a wire from
Shohei Ohtani.
And you must have been like, oh my God, this is one of the biggest players ever in the history of baseball.
Well,
really.
to me, is like I had two feelings, right? The first feeling is the greed side of me is like, wow, I'm never going to have to worry about getting paid. I have the best customer on the planet.
Yeah.
Because he clearly wasn't good at gambling. And then the second part of me is like, this is going to put eyes on me. And this could be bad. And then I was like, I better make sure he's not betting baseball. So I went and checked, and there's no baseball bets, thank God. So I was like, all right, this is really
He's betting soccer, which is the biggest bet sport in the world. People don't realize that.
by far.
Yeah.
Was it actually Ohtani making the bets, though?
No.
It was always the interpreter.
It definitely was the interpreter. As far as this is the part that's still, in my opinion, in question.
Right.
Did Ohtani know that the interpreter was gambling and to the level he was, and did he steal his money or borrow it, or that part to me is still in question, but clearly it's known that he stole the money, and that's why he's in prison, which I feel terrible for, to be honest, because I'm a greedy guy. I love money. I'm not going to act like I don't, but I definitely don't want to be part of a fraud scheme, or I didn't want to affect baseball or Shohei Ohtani's, tarnished name. I mean, I hate to say it, but I have some play in that, not on purpose.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that bothers me.
And he went to jail right now. Did he get like 5 years?
Yeah, he's in prison 57 months in Pennsylvania.
You must feel terrible. The guy you were dealing with all the time. He was a nice guy.
I really
paid
do.
You, yeah.
Very honorable guy. I think he would have paid every dollar. I didn't know he was stealing the money.
Sure.
People ask me, well, how'd you give an interpreter who makes $200,000 a year, $40 million in credit? I'm like, well, I didn't ask who it was. One thing about being a bookmaker, at least for me, was
you don't get personal.
Yeah, I have a relationship, but it's very business savvy, and my job is to give them a service, and their job is to use the service, right? Of course, I don't want people to blow their brains out and lose more money than they can afford, but I can't control what they're telling me. I can't control where they're getting their money, and to be honest, it's not my business.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, but it's not.
And in the book, it actually says that I believe Ohtani was on the mound pitching.
He was. I went to a game. That's correct.
And there's bets coming in as he's pitching.
Yeah.
And you really, if
That's when I realized.
If you had any little inkling that might be him, you knew it was.
That's exactly the moment I really. To be honest, he was pitching that night. There's an Angel game here, and I was like, I need to find out. Excuse me. I need to make sure that Shohei Ohtani is not putting these bets in without asking, because I really didn't want to know. So I went to the game, and I was watching him pitch, and I'm on my website, and Turkish soccer games, and all this bets are firing, and I'm like, that guy is very talented, but I promise you, he can't be on a cell phone and pitch at the same time. So I knew. And then I was like, okay, what crack, this? Maybe they're partners on the account. But let's be honest, either you gamble or you don't.
Right.
And he's known to be a guy who's never gambled. And you've been known, as I have, as a guy who always gambles.
Right.
So, if John doesn't gamble and he never has,
right,
he's not going to all of a sudden start betting $40 million on sports.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen.
Yeah. And Ohtani easily could not have known. I'm going to use this example, and you can cut it if you want. John's dad, Tony Orlando.
Yeah.
He had how much stolen from him? 10 million?
Yeah, over a 14-year span.
Yeah, 14-year span. his assistant, his right-hand man, his accountant, stole $14 million of his money.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize
Yeah,
it,
that's something I was going to bring up is, I used to own a PR firm and I represented, I won't say names, but I represented a lot of NFL Hall of Famers, a lot of Olympic gold medalists, world record holders. And I had a lot of clients for many, many years and became very good friends with them as you probably became good friends with your clients. Of course. You become good friends. It's just what happens.
Yeah, relationship.
And when you have the trust of someone that is high profile, I absolutely had access to, I had American Express cards. I had credit card numbers.
Right.
Because sometimes you're booking, you're the publicist, but you're also the personal assistant in many cases. And you're booking rent-a-car and rooms and flights and stuff and dinner reservations. And it's a big party, so you have to give someone a credit card number to hold the table and all that stuff. And I could have done the same type of thing on a much smaller scale, but still, you're talking about millions of dollars.
Of course.
It's so easy to do. The people that, because I read when the story first broke, people commenting, how could he not see 14 million missing or whatever the number?
Right.
It's so easy. They're busy, man. They're
not only that, John, to take it another step, this is my assumption, but what I've figured out is, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
The wires, when I would ask to be paid, of course. He owed me $24 million to this day.
Holy God.
That's what I'm still owed.
I didn't know that.
No, I never got paid, $24 million. So he was sending like $500K at a time, a couple times $1 million, but mostly $500K. And he'd always say, Ippei, hey man, I should be able to get that wire to you next week. And I realize now, because I didn't know this till later, he was waiting on the Angels to pay. That's what it was. Because that account from I'm put it all together, was his Angels money. Of course, he had a separate account, endorsement money, which is way bigger than we made the Angels.
Oh, yeah.
So, people were like, how does he not notice? I get what you're saying, because if you have, let's call it, 16, 17 million in this account, but you have 150 million in this one, this is the one Shohei's probably paying his bills or whatever.
Sure.
This one's just like, it's your Angels paycheck.
Right.
I mean, when you're that wealthy,
and there's probably so much activity either way. Of course. People moving money, whatever.
I imagine.
No one catches it, and he's the interpreter. At the end of the day, he's the go-between, right?
Right.
So he can even. I don't know if this happened in this case, but like if there are business managers are involved or other people looking at Shohei's money, you're still dealing with the interpreter.
Correct.
He's busy playing baseball, so he very easily can fire off a text and say, "Hey, Shohei said this," and you're not going to question it.
Of course, it's the interpreter, and he was even. I don't know if you guys know this, but he got caught calling the bank, acting as Shohei and doing things, initiating wires and etc. So clearly,
how much did he pay you? How much?
$16.2 million.
So he paid you $16 million.
Biggest client ever?
Oh, by far.
Oh,
yeah.
$16 million. And let's face it, in the end, the casinos got the money.
They did. I lost it all to Resorts
Isn't that
World.
amazing?
I lost 13
in the end, the
and
casinos
change.
get to keep the money. All of these things you see, American Greed, these different shows, a lot of them are on gambling. And in the end, the casinos get all the money.
And of course, you know this. I mean, the casinos are the ones that are still fighting with the government right now in this current case that I have. But I'm the one going to prison. And I really do take accountability for my own actions, but it's kind of sad that the casino got away with all the money and then they have yet to even, have any accountability.
And I'm sure the government came to you with a deal and saying, you can rat out your agents, rat out your customers even. They want to get other cases and other monies involved.
Of course.
And we'll give you no time.
I definitely could have stepped on a lot of people's throats for sure. I know 40 bookmakers across the country that are very big and have a lot of money and can be exposed, and I would not talk about any of them.
Right.